Miss Maserati Neesh here, and you are now tuned into the Neesh Speaks podcast, where I am bringing you financial gains so that you can obtain financial gains. You're tuned into the greatest, and I am so excited. Girl power. Is this Women's Month? I think this is Women's Month. Yes. I am with serial entrepreneur Crystal, and she's going to tell us about her entrepreneurship journey. It's very exciting. I met Crystal at a seminar years and years ago, and I liked how she moved. I like her passion. I like her drive. She's very ambitious. And what I like most about her is she's a hustler.
Yes.
So I get excited when I meet other women that are out here shaking and moving, and they're strong and they're ambitious, and they get their own bag. I love that independence. So let's jump into your first business, which is Bridging the Gap.
Yes.
And how that started.
So I started Bridging the Gap as a prison van service back in 2011. And it was really while I was in college, and it was really because my father was incarcerated. My father did 25 years in prison. He was locked up since I was 3. My brother was locked up for 12 years, and I ended up adopting his son, which is my nephew, which is my son now, due to his parents' incarceration. So I would reunite families back and forth to the prisons as I was going to go visit my own family members. So I ran that until 2018, 2019. I became really overwhelmed. And it was because the men in my family who was once incarcerated, they came home. So when they came home, I'm thinking, oh my God, it was going to get easier. I thought that my dad is home, he'll be able to help me with the van service. My brother is home, he's going to be able to help me with my nephew. And honestly, they came home and they was broken men. And that's when here it was, I couldn't even run my van service no more because I had to repair my own family. I'm saying, hey, go up there and see your loved ones. And my purpose and my why had came home. And when they came home and they was these broken men,
things was different.
It just switched. And I couldn't keep focusing on other families and trying to rebuild other families, knowing that my very own family members was like just apart. So I had to rebuild them, help them learn how to drive, get their birth certificate, pay my dad rent. So, my roles had switched. So yeah.
How challenging is that? Because as women, we take on so much initially. And I know for me, just running several businesses alone is draining at times. And not just that, and I'm a single mom. And then, still maintaining that self-care for myself and making sure I'm balanced and not going to hell crazy and all over the place and sleepless and all that stuff. But now for your brother and your father to come home that are, black men, grown men, and now you have to kind of like put your goals and what you're trying to do on hold, and then, kind of like get them on track.
Right. When my father and my brother came home, I had a mobile car detailing.
So you're just the hustler.
I have a mobile car detailing. So I said, when they come home, I know they're going to have a hard time finding a job. So I had all the equipment inside of this van. Guess what? My brother works at Restaurant Depot. He's doing very good there. He's a manager, but he didn't even start this. He'd been home for like 2-3 years, and he didn't even start this mobile car detailing. And here it is. It's like we think that we can have everything set up for them in order, but really mentally they're not there. So that's when I had to take a step back, and I'm like, hey, like I can give them everything. I can have everything set up for them. I can have your LLC set up. I can have the business structure set up. I can have all the equipment in it. But if you don't have the mindset to really run this business, it's like,
so your mind has to catch up.
Your mind, yes. And your mind, my brother has yet to still start this mobile car detailing. I gave it to my father at first. He couldn't do it. I'm giving it to my brother. And it's really... Is that frustrating? Because as I begin to climb, right, and I've reached, and I say this in a humble way, I reached a level of success, right? Not too many of people where I come from have reached that level, but I like to go back and pull people up. But as I do that, that too becomes draining because you want more for people than they want. I always tell people, help me help you, Joker. Like, I want to help you, but I can't do it by myself, and I can't want it more for you than you want it for yourself. And I did that the first go around. This second go around with Stay Lifted is like real personal. It's like Bridging the Gap was, I'm trying to bridge my own family's gap. Come on. I know all this information. I know about credit. I know how to start a business. I know, how to get a job. I went to college. I was the successful one. I know how to buy a house. But at the same time, the people that's around you, when they're just pulling from you and they're draining you
Come
down,
on. You better
I'd
talk
rather
about
be
it.
at this level where it feel like, oh, I'm losing and here it is. I'm underground. I ain't, I'm not where I was before. And it's like, I love it because it's not that many people pulling from me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And the fact that I'm restarting and I'm rebranding myself to stay lifted and to really just tell people about the cannabis industry and the different opportunities that's in it. It's like, now since I'm back here, you can come with me. If you don't come with me, if you slow down, I'm leaving you behind.
Right.
I'm not bringing you with me. So like I came back, I rebranded myself. I told my brother, I said, hey, now is the time to start your prison van service. I'm on this level, be on the same level. Let's just get it together. Mm-hmm. My nephew, I didn't gave him, tomorrow's his birthday, I'm giving him a t-shirt company that I started back in 2017.
When you say started, you already have the LLCs for them?
Already had the LLCs.
Awesome.
It
We're going to get into
credit.
that too, talk about the LLCs.
It has credit. It's set up. Already had a website. So I'm just giving him the business. He's 15 years old. He's into fashion. He want to spend $90 on a hoodie. No, you're going to be selling your own brand.
Yeah.
So his
my
brand
little sister's actually doing that in school right now. My dad brought her a printer. So she puts like the images on the hoodies,
yep.
And she takes her little order. She comes up my dad's house during the week. She goes to the wholesale place, grabs her hoodies, and she's selling them hoodies for $40.
Yeah. So listen,
I thought was
for his birthday, instead of buying him sneakers or taking him away or whatever, I'm giving him a business. So I told him about the LLC. I said, hey, you're turning 15. Like, you're into this fashion thing, but really rock your own brand. So Busy Boo from Busy Stage Printing, he allowed us to come in there yesterday after hours, and he really just showed my nephew the ins and outs.
On somebody.
And
that's
honestly,
awesome.
That's what it takes. It's like it don't take just for his father. It don't take just
community.
For the people like in our family. It's everybody that could be like, listen, sis, like I got him. Like, come on. And
then him just seeing that and being in that environment with that business, because I order all my stuff from him.
Yeah.
So Tyreek is like I call him my brother. But for him to be in that environment where black men are running a successful business, for him to be in that environment and to be able to see that, the mindset, which now I'm going to ask you, how is your mindset? How is it that your mindset is different from the father who birthed you and your brother? Did you and your brother grow up in the same household?
Same household.
So how did you develop that entrepreneurship mentality? Where did it come from?
I don't know. I always just look for the people in the community. I had teachers. I had neighbors. It's like, if my brother was going to prison, made my mom cry, why would I go to prison? No, I'm going to figure out how to go to college, So I always was that one, not the people pleaser, but it was just like...
You wanted more.
Yeah, I wanted more. And I looked to the people who was doing positive things. And I really just was like, I'm going to be like that. I'm going to be like that, And I just kept pushing myself, and I was just surrounding myself around positive people.
So when you had your first business concept, of course, you actually developed the concept from you going to the prisons and seeing your father and seeing that it was a need, that there was no transportation for relatives to go see the inmates, right? Mm-hmm. How did you know, okay, I need to set up an LLC? That's the first step. How do you know I need to get an EIN number?
I didn't. I mean... We were carpooling. Like, everything starts like kind of like underground. Of course, you don't be legal always coming out sometimes.
Say that again. No, for real.
No,
Thank you
for
for your
real.
transparency.
And I really was
Say that
like,
again.
I was hustling. Like,
Say that again.
I used my refund check from college because I still was in college. And my mom had a Nissan Armada. She was taking people. It started being too many people in that car. So I said, I'm going to go to the auction. I'm going to get me a van. We didn't even have the right insurance when we first started out. I'm just being so honest,
really,
though. Like, we didn't have the right insurance. So it took for going up to the prison, and they're saying, hey, y'all can't bring these people up here. And I'm like, why can't we? Like, I'm like that person that you can't tell me no. So I'm like, why can't we? Okay. Oh, you have to be a legitimate business because you're bringing too many people up here. I'm like, okay. So Google, how do you become a legitimate business? LLC in Pennsylvania. So back then I did LegalZoom. LegalZoom. Now I know how to do it myself. But back then, LegalZoom helped me. I paid the fees.
So what was your step? So LLC,
EIN number. I got the right insurance. We needed another van. That's when I had 1 year worth of like a good tracking history, and I was able to show my profit. And I went into the car dealership for it, and I said, "Hey, I'm doing good in business." What else? I said, "Hey, I'm doing good in business." I had to provide the documents, and they actually gave me a loan to rent my first van. And from there, and I ended up with 4 vans before I shut down.
Oh, cool. So what did you wind up doing with the vans? Did you sell them?
Yeah, I sold them back, and I still have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's pretty dope. That's
so
amazing.
Getting into the cannabis industry, I said, all right, while I shut the van service down, of course I was stressed out, but I always smoked behind the scenes. Nobody really knew. But then once I went to therapy, because I really was stressed out from, like, you know, my dad coming home, my brothers coming home, you know, my life changed. So once I started going to therapy, they wanted to give me the pills, and I'm like, oh no, I don't want to be on these pills, you know. And that's when I was like, well, I smoke weed. That helps. He was like, well, you know, you can get your medical marijuana card. So I said, bet. So I got my medical marijuana card.
Bet.
I started going to the dispensaries, and I seen how open this market was, and I seen how we don't even know of the different opportunities that's in the cannabis industry.
We don't know the different opportunities, period. I think that Instagram is a great tool for that, because before, the only time you saw successful black people was probably like the Cosbys, right?
Yeah.
Like not loving hip hop, not basketball wives and all that foolishness. But to really see black people that have grinded from the bottom and established these successful companies, and we have entrepreneurs that's doing their things and building these big, amazing brands. I think that Instagram allows us to see people that look like us, that come from places where we come from, and say, hey, I can do that. So even for children to be able to see that, because we couldn't see that. I didn't see that growing up. I didn't see that. Luckily, my uncle was an entrepreneur. He owned the corner store. That was the only entrepreneur I knew for a period of time until he inspired my dad, and then my dad became one. But just me seeing him at the corner store gave me a little hope. Like, oh, we can
Neesh, let me big you up real quick, though, because just seeing you, like, my nephew got an American Express credit card because of you. Oh. You get me? So, like, just seeing you and what you're doing with your son, it's like, oh, okay, I'm not doing something wrong. Because being the only person in my family that's interested in credit or interested in passing things down onto my nephew or onto the kids, that's because, you know, people like you are on Instagram and you're showing that part of your life. Right. You know, like, I see that it's normal, but if I'm not, I mean, I know that it's normal, but if I feel like I'm the only one that's doing it, at times you're like, hold on, wait, you know.
You be amazed at when people sit in my chair, and I had to, like, recondition myself in the way I process stuff, because I expect for people to understand the language that I'm speaking when I start talking about money and finances and investments and all that kind of stuff. And I realized that a lot of our people, brown and black people, have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. So you can sit in my chair, and some of them will act like they know. So I dumb it down I simplify it so much that by the time you leave, you're taking away something. I don't care if you just took away, you need to get a secure card, and you need to pay your bills on time, and you need to teach your children those habits. You're going to leave with something. So I found a way to simplify what I'm trying to deliver so that people can receive it at the level that they are. So I speak the people's language so that they can receive it. And it's so important. My son is 10 years old. My son has rental income. My son has 2 credit cards. Even if he don't know what the hell is going on right now, I'm planting it, and I'm planting the seed. Yeah. I'm planting the seed. So as time progresses and he gets older and older, I'm just feeding him more information, and he's retaining it. And I'm strengthening him. So by the time he's 18, he's going to be unstoppable. And that's the kind of foundation we need to be giving our babies. Not, oh, you need to get these Jordans, you're going to be fly. This conference, which I want you to speak on, that I'm doing in May, sis, I'm not trying to hear about no bags. I don't care about Chanel. I don't care about Hermes, all that. I can afford all that shit 20 times. It does not matter to me at this point in my life. I want to leave something for my family, my son. I want to educate my community so that you can get a real bag, not a physical handbag, a real bag, so that you can have something to build on for your children and for yourself. So it's so important that we educate, and that's great. Your nephew has a business at 15. That's dope. He doesn't even understand what you're doing right now.
And the thing is, the fact that, like, he Honestly, I planted the seed, and I started it. I honestly started it because on the van I allowed children to ride my service for free. So I sold the T-shirts that paid for the kids to ride my service for free.
What T-shirts?
Education over incarceration.
Dope.
Yeah, so that's his business, education over incarceration. But now that I'm in a whole other business and I didn't transition, I planted the seed, but he might be the one that needed to grow it. I just planted it. Right. So he don't have to start at zero. He don't have to start from scratch. And like even today before I came here, he like, okay, I gotta download the Shopify account. Hold on, you misspelled this. Like he's like proofreading everything. I love it. And these kids, they know about Instagram more than we do. Mm-hmm. So play that game. You already on it. Why not try learn, make money from it, and they could sometimes teach us certain things. So we're learning together, in this whole industry.
I think that we, our people, have been brainwashed to think that secondary education is the win for your children. You will be surprised how many of my clients have student loan debt, and their income is very, very low. So I want to also recondition and reshape the mind of our people and promote entrepreneurship, and not to do it blindly, like not to just go in and start a business, but to really understand that you need to legitimize your business. So you need to have the LLC, you need to have the EIN, or somebody who's been doing business for 5 years now and they got the clientele, everything, but you don't have the LLC. So, just starting it off as a hustle, but now growing it and taking it to the next level. I think that entrepreneurship is a beautiful thing. No, it's not easy all the time. It comes with ups and downs. Sometimes you will be down, sometimes you will be up. But even learning how to sustain, learning how to get business lines of credit, learning how to get business credit cards. So when you have slow months, you're able to maintain because you can pull off your business lines, all of those things. But to push that, because we throw our children in college where they necessarily don't even want to go to school, but because you never did it, or you don't have any degrees or accolades, now you're making your child do that. And then 2 years in, they say they don't want to go back. Now you got student loan debt, and you don't want to pay it back as a parent because you already are mad because they didn't finish. So now they got all this debt, and they're starting in a bad place. Right. So giving them the tools that they need in order to excel, and it's really not a difficult thing to do. To be an entrepreneur. It's not a difficult thing.
And that's why, I was holding the business off. I'm like, I'm going to give it to him when he's 18. And I'm like, why? He could just do it now. Like, you know what I mean? We don't got to, we think that it has to be this perfect moment, and he got to be this age.
Crystal. Like, talk about the perfect moment.
You so into clothes, and you so into Instagram, and I got to keep taking your phone from being on Instagram. Right. Make money. I need for you to DM 10 people every day. Tell them about your business. Tell them to follow you. Do it. So I'm really just pushing them out there. And at first I was like, we got to be perfect. You got to be 18. And I'm like, no, dude, you can just do it now. Right. This is actually good because you're going to have that market from middle school, high school, college. I wish I started that early. Right. Oh my God, I would be so far ahead if I knew now what I knew then. Right.
And you're giving him that. I never forget. I was in the 10th grade. And I told you that my uncle inspired my dad to seek entrepreneurship. So I remember my dad started selling clothes. He had a stand where he would sell clothes. So he was an NTA. He would get off at work from being an NTA, and he would go set up his stand and put his clothes up. I remember taking trips with him every Sunday to New York when he go to all the wholesale places to get his merchandise and come back and sell it. So I remember taking him trips and seeing everything, right? So although he wasn't physically teaching me, I was paying attention, right? And then I remember 10th grade, me selling mixtapes. We would go and meet my dad's friend down Lehigh, Wharton, Lehigh, where that McDonald's was, and he would show me all the mixtapes and all the tapes that he had, and I would pick out the tapes and I would buy the tapes for $1. Yeah. Then I would go on my lunch break and sneak out on all the other lunch periods to sell my mixtapes in the cafeteria for $5. Now, fast forward, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a successful business or businesses, and I was just playing it back one day, like, wow, that was my preparation. All of that stuff.
And when I look back, it's like back in high school, I was selling candy. In college, I was selling Indian hair, from Brenda. Like when Brenda had the best Indian hair. Brenda Bell. Yes, me and my best friend, we sold Indian hair. But then it was just like the cheap hair came out, so everybody started buying the 89. I'm like, we got that real Indian. So the fact that we didn't compromise is the reason why we did not get that hair back. But We were selling like Indian hair before it got, but I look at everything and I see like, oh my God, I was hustling in high school. I was hustling in college.
Right. It was preparing
hustling, and it's just really, if this don't work, try this. If this don't work, try this. And you just never know what's going, my Instagram page is Kritty, KRITTY_B. And then my business Instagram page is Stay Lifted, lifted with a Y. So that's STAYLYFTED.
Let's talk about Stay Lifted. What is Stay Lifted? Get lifted. You need that song. That's your promo song.
Yes. I need that. Okay. No, Stay Lifted honestly it's a brand. I started having different like cannabis pop-up parties. And now I consult with different people. So I noticed that some of my vendors that was at my events, they didn't have an LLC.
Good.
And right now, or they were selling products that had THC. So right now I consult with them and I connect them with different farms that sell the CBD. Yeah, so they can.
So how did you find the farms? Like you just researched?
Well, I was going over to LA, Oh yeah, that's a secret. That's the consultation.
That's a consultation. Just get the consultation.
But y'all see, I would really honestly, we really got to get into this cannabis industry. It's really
how lucrative is it?
Well, right now, of course, you got to plant the seeds. Like, it's still illegal on a federal level, so it's still a gamble.
Really?
Yeah.
How is it legal but illegal?
Because federally, it's legal in different states. It's legal in different states, but federal is, over top of.
So if you cross the line, so if it's legal in Philly but illegal in Jersey, if you have weed you'll go to jail?
Well, certain states decriminalized it,
Okay.
So, but I help people get into the industry.
If you want to get into the industry, you need to see Crystal. How you doing?
And then I have different pop-up parties where, it's a safe haven where we can just come together, smoke our weed, have
and
be
like,
vendors.
yeah, we're smoking our weed.
Yes, but yeah, honestly, it's really, it's where I'm touching on it from. So I'm doing that, but at the same time, it's more so advocating for the people that's incarcerated. Still go back to bridging the gap.
Really?
The war
How
on
does
drugs,
the two connect though?
Because the war on drugs, they put the war on drugs in place to send black people to prison. They knew that marijuana was a medicine. They knew that. Mm-hmm. But because the alcohol bill, was coming out at the same time as marijuana, they made this look like a bad thing. And black and brown people were sent to prison. Like the war on drugs.
That was something that they enjoyed.
In prison for life in prison
for weed. Seriously?
But here it is. They opening up dispensaries in our neighborhood.
And that's a slap in the face. That's a slap in the face.
So
that is.
That's where Stay Lifted come into play. I'm trying to really control the market. Even though they're opening up the dispensaries, I still have the people.
Now, do you feel like they're gonna let you in? The way you, to the capacity that you want. And when I say they, you know who I'm talking about. They. Do you feel like they are going to give you the resources and that they are going to let you into this business? For one, it's super duper hard for black folks to go into certain industries. Even Jay-Z said that. Like,
I'm getting so much pushback, but honestly, the different angles that you got to set it up is like, of course, I can't directly touch the plant, but I can create different services. I can create an app where I need 10,000 people to download this app in Philly, and now I can go to these dispensaries and say,
do you need 10,000 people to download your app?
Yes.
So what's your app? Do you have to tell them your app?
The Apple and Android store is Stay Lifted.
On Android?
Android and Apple Play, the Apple Store.
Okay.
But yeah, so download the app, and then that's how we can control the market, because the dispensaries would now have to go through us to start advertising and getting to you
that's
guys.
Awesome.
So,
I love it.
That's the plan.
That's something that you thought of too?
Yes.
Yeah. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
I just launched this app 2 weeks ago. So still in the beta phase. There's a lot of different changes that gotta go into it. But I'm just happy that Apple approved this because it was giving us so much pushback.
Okay. Let's talk about credit for you, because I know that you were a client of mine. How you doing?
I'm still in. I got 3 more sessions. 1-on-1, they come with 5 sessions, y'all.
4 now. I changed it. 4, but you still got yours though.
I got 3.
Yes. So let's talk about that. So you already had pretty decent credit, right?
Yes.
Were you able to utilize your credit, to leverage your credit to do other things?
Yes.
All right. So let's talk about that process. So let's talk about the time that you came in and then what it looked like after that, your steps.
So the time that I came in, I think we were just trying to get just business credit. I got the business credit in the van service.
Okay.
And then I used that to actually start Stay Lifted. So that's how I started creating the products.
Now pause for 1 second. So there's this huge misconception. First of all, people think that I had a client come to me yesterday. Amazing couple. Oh my God, I love them. Mm-hmm. It was a husband and wife, and the wife has a daycare in-home business. And she said, I'm trying to lean on my husband because he makes really good money, but he's been running from the IRS for a million years, right? I said, we're not doing that today. We're going to get y'all right. I said, there's no way, ma'am, that you have an 834 credit score and you cannot leverage that. Mm-hmm. She said, my husband makes really good money. He owns an entertainment business where he does weddings, bar mitzvahs, corporate engagements, all of this stuff, where he has the live entertainment, mm-hmm. DJ, live band, all of that. So I'm like, no way. She was like, and she looked like she was getting ready to cry. She was like, can you please talk to him, because he doesn't listen to me. Like, he listens, but he'll get started and then he'll quit. So I said, listen, you're scheduling a consultation right now with Ernest, my accountant. We're going to I said, stop being so afraid of paying taxes, mm-hmm. because when you own a business, technically you have write-offs. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you can kind of control, right, but not control, and off record for that. But, right. So if your business has made $350,000 a year, so now if you have payroll is a deduction. If you bought vans, your vans is a deduction. Your mileage that you used for your business is a deduction. The gas that you used, the office in your house. If you took Purple on a lunch date, or you took a niece, or you took Crystal, mm-hmm. that's a write-off. Travel expenses.
If you go to Vegas for a conference and you want to stay an extra 2 days to relax,
it's a write-off. So don't be afraid of that. So if you made $300, then after all of your write-offs, your profit may be $100. Then you would pay your taxes on the $100, not the $300. So for one, we have to stop running and avoiding that. Mm-hmm. With that being said, there are ways that you can gain access to business funding even if you've never operated your LLC. Mm-hmm. If you establish your LLC, the couple yesterday, she said she had her LLC from 2006. I said, why don't you have business credit? She said, I just didn't know. I said, you have an 834, 30, whatever it was, credit score, and you have a LLC that's seasoned. Seasoned meaning all of those years. Most banks want to see that your business was effective, meaning the date that it was filed. It doesn't actually have to be operating, but your LLC was established in 2006. So now you're going to go to you actually want to go to banks that offer the no doc program or the stated program, where they're not verifying your business income. So they're not going to ask you for tax returns. So now you take the seasoned LLC that you had since 2006, and you're going to walk into that bank with your 834 credit score, and you're going to tell them you want a business line of credit. And that bank is not even going to verify your business income. They're going to give you a business line of credit based off of the age of that LLC and your own personal credit. Mm-hmm. So you're basically going to co-sign for your business line of credit. And you can go to 4 or 5 different banks in one day and do that. Mm-hmm. And you may walk out with $80,000, $100,000, $150,000 worth of business lines of credit and business credit cards, so that you can now invest back into your business. Mm-hmm. So you said you took some of that and invested into your new business.
Yeah, because I already knew I was stressed out from running a van service, and it was like, granted, yeah, my business is still growing, but mentally I wasn't there to continue to run it. So I'm like, they was going to approve me for another van. So I said, well, if they want to approve me for another van, I'm pretty sure the credit and my credit is good enough. Right. So I got a credit card. I used that credit card to buy the products that I started for the Stay Lifted. And now I'm trying to turn the business more into like a subscription box. Awesome. Where you get pre-rolls, an ashtray, all the starter kits that every smoker needs, But yeah, so yeah, like you don't gotta go out and get. It's not no black and white. It's real cute. It's for
real
us
cute.
Females.
It's for females.
Yeah, it's for
That's
females.
dope.
Yep.
I'm loving it.
Yeah, so it's for us females. Like, we don't gotta worry about with the brown,
Cute
backwards.
cute little box.
But yeah, so it's a little cute little box. But yeah. So I used the credit card from the van service business to buy the products for this business.
And one of the benefits of actually utilizing business credit is when you tap into your personal credit, your revolving credit, which is your store retail cards and your major credit cards. Once you start using the credit, the more you use, the lower your scores are going to drop. So you don't want to use too much of your credit cards. You don't want too much credit card debt, but it doesn't apply on the business side. So you can max out on your business credit cards and nothing's going to happen to your credit scores. Nothing's going to happen to your personal credit. So now you can max it out and buy all the material and all the products and all the this for the new business.
And even though here it is, I stopped the prison van service for the moment. I do think I will start it back up, just probably more as like a nonprofit.
And if you structure it so strong where you don't even have to be there. That's what you got to do. You got to lock in on that thing and get the structure. Where McDonald's, look, the blueprint is so thorough that they can give it to a 17-year-old and they can run a whole McDonald's.
And I think because I was door to door, it added too many variables. So for a driver you're hiring, it's never the same route. It's always a different route. It's like an Uber, but it was just a lot. Right. But shutting down that and now going into a new business, being as though all my vans was in the bridging the gap and I'm in a new business, my credit is still clear because that was that. Right. And now I'm over here.
Right. Cool.
So, yeah, I mean, that's how it worked out. I mean, that's why it benefits getting businesses and using your business line of credit. Because you can open up different, businesses.
You could literally take that old LLC that you did nothing with and start a whole new business. Yeah. My thing is this. I have my own capital. I never want to touch my own capital. I just don't. Although Craig did that first go round. He said, I ain't doing that shit no more. But you never want to use your own capital. I mean, if you get to a point where even Bill Gates and all, they probably don't even use their own. So you don't want to use your own capital. If you can use somebody else's money, like literally you can do a whole real estate deal where you can make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 without ever touching your own money. Why wouldn't you not want to get your credit right?
Right.
Like life changing. I tell everybody credit changed my life. I've never had bad credit. I've never, alhamdulillah, I've never had a late payment in my life. So just knowing that, and when I tell you, I try to drill it in I even told my cousins, we're in a group text. I'm like, yo, y'all need to get with me. This was the beginning of the year. Let's have we travel, we do all this stuff. Let's have a cousins meetup. Nobody came yet.
Yeah. That's
how it come yet.
That's how it is.
They ain't come yet. I'm like, listen, y'all see me climbing. Wale said when I was on my way up, why y'all ain't see the stairs? It's like I'm climbing. I want y'all to come with me without y'all draining the life out of me. But I want y'all to come with me. But yeah, so that's dope. So I'm so excited about your journey, yo. Thank you. I'm more impressed that you have that same thing that I have. It's like no matter what happens, if I fall, I'm getting back up. I already know it.
Yeah.
If I get down and out, I already know I'm getting back up. I have that in me. I know, like, and that can
be taught. Like
it can. Me and Aisha just said that she's
really
a big time real estate guru.
And it's like, and I noticed that the more I get into consultations, special. And I'm like, you don't got it.
Yes.
Like all somebody gotta do is just show me this, and
Anise got it.
Anise
got it.
And it's like
just this burning desire.
Have it, man. Yeah. You just gotta want it.
You gotta want it.
Despite anything.
I actually get excited about accomplishing shit that I put on my chart. Like I don't even care about the money anymore. I'm past that. It's just like, I want to be on Forbes. Let me just work for that, work towards that. And then to accomplish that, that's going to be satisfying to me. It's going to make me full. It's not even the things like the tangible things, the monetary. I just like setting goals and knowing that I can do it and then seeing it happen. That's what excites me.
And I noticed that because when I shut the van service down and I wanted to just say, hey, no van service, wrap it up. I wanted to be like, no to the van service and just put it behind me. It's like, I can't. Like, that was part of history.
Wow.
Like, you know what I mean? So then I started just going back.
How old was you when you started that?
21.
Come on, somebody.
Yeah, I was like 21.
That's what I'm talking about. 21. That's amazing, Crystal.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You the shit. You the shit.
You too, girl. You too. Oh my God.
You the shit. You the shit.
Thank you for just paving the way.
I love it. I love it.
Giving
so
us
listen,
that game.
financial gain so that you can obtain financial gains. So listen, it was a pleasure. Give them your Instagram one more time so that everybody has it.
Hey guys, my name is Crystal. You guys can follow me at Critty_B is my personal page. That's KRITT_B. And then my business page is Stay Lifted at STAYLYFTED_.
And what else do we have going on? Please
download my app. I have an app that's in the Apple and Android store. So go and download that app. We are, looking to get a large amount of people so we can start advertising and start interviewing and just start providing more content to you guys. But we need the numbers.
Yes, thank you. So that's my girl Crystal. You're here with me, Maserati Neesh, and it's a wrap. But tune in, as usual, for the financial game so that you can obtain financial gains. I'm loving on y'all. One.